So next we have consider approval of an allowance to the Long Lake Emergency Sewer Replacement Contract for water main replacement. We have
Okay. Sorry, I don't know which one. I don't have the most recent agenda, so. Okay, Long Lake Road. So I did submit a memo for the board packet for the monthly update. As I alluded earlier, that we were aware that there is a conflict with the existing water main that prohibits the construction of the sanitary sewer.
Why don't we give it a second
Yeah.
till the place clears out a little
Clears
bit.
out.
It's hard to hear. Can I just ask to you guys, sorry, everybody, we still have a few more that we have to get through, if you guys don't mind, just because it's picking up on the cable, so that we can move forward. Sorry. Thank you. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So like I said, the existing water main was field verified by the contractor to be in conflict with the installation of the sanitary sewer. Where over the weekend, I received estimates from our current contractor to carry out the required water main work to complete the sewer project in 2 phases. The first phase is basically cutting the water main near the east and west project limits, which will allow us to continue with the sanitary sewer construction. And then also the second phase would be installing the new water main as they install the sanitary sewer. Since the road is closed, the excavation is open. So because the timing worked out, this is something that needs to be done for the project to continue. The preliminary numbers that we have for the contractor is $96,643 for the first phase, which is again cutting the water main. Basically, we need to cut the water main at each end of the project, so it's not live through the project. So if the contract were to hit it, it doesn't spray water everywhere. It's a 16-inch water main, which would be a significant safety issue. Also, there are residents that are connected to that water main, so we need to cap it so we can turn it back on and keep them in service, so the water main will be dead in the middle. That is scheduled for November 1st or 2nd. The residents, there's about 20 who will be impacted by that shutdown while we do that work. It will take a full day to do that work. So they won't have water during that time. And then once water is reinstated, once we cap the water main, they will be under a boil water notice within that section. This area has already experienced this in the past on this project when we were doing a planned water main improvement for this project. Then, so that would take place next week. And then the second phase, like I said, would be as they're installing the sewer, replacing the water main. And this is a little bit more extensive than a traditional sewer, because with this case, we have to install the piles. So installing the piles takes a significant more area of work, and that's why there is a conflict. When we planned the project, we had field locations in 2 places on the water main, and we potholed a third. And typically water main runs in straight lines, so we connected the dots, but for whatever reason, when the contractor started digging and verified that the water main goes like this, and our construction as-built plans from the 60s don't reflect that. So at this point, the request is to amend the project to allow for $450,000 for the additional 2 phases of the water main work. It works out because we're here. The original resolution by the board for the overall project, which was issued April 11th, permitted changes or additions to the contract to be made by me, the engineering department, if it was 10% or less, and by Supervisor Walsh if it was 30% or less. However, this is a little bit different because this is an additional scope of work to the project. So we have the cost estimates from the contractor. HRC and the township, we're going through them with a fine-tooth comb, making sure that we're verifying everything. It's a tough time right now. There's a 50-week lead time on ductile iron pipe. So the contractor is buying pipe from other contractors who maybe have it stored or don't need it right now, and where he can buy it and maybe they can get it in 50 weeks, or 50 weeks. So it's across the board. We just got another email from a contractor working for a private development saying, well, we can't get ductile iron pipe. It's going to take 50 weeks. We want to change our pipe material. It's across the board a difficulty that we're facing. So the fact that the contractor was able to find 16-inch ductile iron pipe from other contractors is a huge bonus to us. Ultimately, the final prices would be done through a change order, as with all of our contracts. So at this point, I'm asking for an allowance of $450,000 to be added to the project. This is funded through the Water and Sewer Fund. So there's not a budget per se for this project, like a traditional sense of the budget, because they are funded through the rates, and we do have the reserve funds available for this. And then the allowance would be for $450,000, finalized through a change order, executed by myself, as approved by the Board of Trustees.
Questions for Olivia?
Do you see a time delay on this, Olivia?
I'm sorry?
How does this affect timing?
So there will likely be a time delay. We haven't gotten that far in the discussions with the contractor because time change will also require a change order specifying the contract end dates. So right now, everything's kind of up in the air, but I would expect a time delay due to this additional work being added to the project, because it will take more time.
And are you then suggesting that these 20 homes are going to be on a boiled alert for an extended period of time?
No. So when we depressurize the water system, the Safe Drinking Water Act requires that certain steps be followed. And in this case, because the system would be depressurized for, we expect possibly 8 to 12 hours, once we put them back in water, we have to do we have to take samples for 2 consecutive days. And then if those samples come back non-detect, then the boil water is lifted.
So help me, I'm envisioning that this is coming out, that then it's going to take time to put back in. So in the midst, how are people getting water?
Okay, so I'm sorry about that. So right now, the water main runs through the project parallel to the sanitary sewer. The first phase is to dig up the water main on each end of the project and cap it, so water can no longer transfer through the pipe. The contractor this week is verifying where the home's water services connect to that pipe. If any homes are connected to the section that's shut down, we know one is for sure, their water service will be reconnected to the part of the water main that will be turned on live. So they're verifying. We know one for sure has to be relocated. The rest, the contractor's out digging and physically looking to make sure that where they connect to the pipe with their service will be within the outside sections of the water main that'll be in service.
Thank you.
Yep. Yeah, we don't want to.
So you're saying it'll just really be for that day in terms of the capping, but then any timeline for how long before you can put everything back together do the full repair?
It'll be parallel. It'll be the same duration as a sanitary sewer.
Okay.
Yeah. And we have had water main breaks on this section of water main. So we do have a section that it was like 3 or 4 years ago there was a water main break, and it's a large area. So we are aware that we have had to do maintenance on this section of water main. Probably for the same reasons we have to replace the sewer.
Have any other questions for Olivia? Now I'd look for a motion.
So moved.
Moved by trustee Shostak. Support by trustee Faki. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? That does pass.